to 38 in a Sunday night football thriller. Brock Purdy was fantastic. Both quarterbacks made history by being tied multiple times with the denominations of 7. Eagles topped the Bills 13-12 yesterday on a failed 2-point conversion from Josh Allen at the end of the game. And tonight on Monday Night Football, Rams, Falcons in Atlanta. Rams 7-point favorites on the road. That game is going at 5:15. The point total is set at 48.5. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face the facts. You're stuck in the past based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Sound off like you got a pair.
Nothing like some artwork when you're going to take a piss.
Christmas has come and gone. Now it gets serious. With 1 week to go. Who's in?
He looks to the middle. He moves up. He throws it left. Easy pitch and catch. Uncontested. Touchdown. Hunter Henry. The Jags remain in first place in the AFC South. How good is that?
The NFL postseason picture takes shape.
Throws, and it is incomplete. The ball game is over, and the 49ers have won it.
The Aztecs made their bowl game interesting.
Handoff Washington straight ahead. There he goes. Touchdown Aztecs. It's 49-41.
And some things happened since we last spoke.
Dak Prescott, more than 271.5 pass yards.
All right.
Jared Goff, less than 32.5 passing attempts.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Saquon Barkley, more than 82.5 rush yards.
Oh, I'm a failure. I'll make up for it now.
A.J. Brown, less than 20.5 receiving yards in his first 2 receptions.
You cannot be serious. Abominable. Can you believe that?
Let's talk about it all right now from the San Diego Sports 760 studios in the Flex Zone.
It's San Diego Sports 760. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since Sammy and I have been on the microphones, but here we are. We got 2 hours for you today. John and Jim, I think the final John and Jim show ever today. Jim Pressel's last day is coming up right after we get off the air today, but we got 2 hours for you. It's a good 2 hours. Insane slate of NFL games since we last spoke, starting with the Christmas games, going all the way through Sunday Night Football, which was pretty irrelevant. I don't know what happened there.
Oh my God, this show's going to be insufferable.
No, Sammy. I'm straight down the middle, totally unbiased. So you won't hear a peep of bias out of these lips today. But there was a lot that's happened over the last 5 or 6 days since we last talked to you. So we'll start here. Sammy Long, how was your Christmas? It's good to see you.
It was good to see you too. It was a fun Christmas of watching football. Had a lot of chill week. Spent the weekend up in Los Angeles. It was fun. It was a good time. What about you?
I was actually up your way too. Not all the way up to LA, but we were in Long Beach for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Came back to San Diego in time to jump on a plane and head out to New Mexico for the Albuquerque Bowl, where Aztecs and North Texas.
Yeah, how about that game, by the way?
More entertaining bowl games that we've seen this year. Chaos, like 90-something points scored between those two teams, up over 1,000 yards. We'll get into that game in just a little bit. But then settled in for a nice little Sunday of NFL football yesterday. I actually had my nieces in town. My wife and I were watching them, so they got introduced to the kingdom of the 49ers fans. And we watched all day yesterday, a bunch of football games. And I think there's some good, some bad, some ugly yesterday that all went down. And why don't we start with the ugly, Sammy? Because I think this was where you would want to start the show today. What the hell's going on with Josh Allen? What the hell's going on with the Buffalo Bills? Does that look like a Super Bowl team to anybody else? Because it doesn't really look like a Super Bowl team to me right now.
Well, listen, Josh Allen's a fantastic player, and people say that I hate on Josh Allen too much and all this stuff. I hate on the glazing of quarterbacks who have not got it done in the biggest moments. And Josh Allen's unbelievable. But if you would have told anyone that the Philadelphia Eagles would have that anemic of a second half. I mean, the
Less
offense,
than 20 yards of offense in the second
20
half.
yards of offense. I mean, like what is going on? The Buffalo Bills are at home. They can't do anything. They missed the 4th and goal earlier on. Allen stopped a half yard short. Then the end of the game. And this is one of the few times that it's easy in the playoffs. People have made the case, and I've been on Josh Allen. But to Josh Allen's, to his credit, Sean McDermott's made some big mistakes in the playoffs. The defense has made some big mistakes in the playoffs. This game was on Josh Allen. The defense played lights out. Sean McDermott gave him the green light to go for 2, like any quarterback would want. You would want to you have all the momentum to put your faith in the guy, and he missed the throw. I'll give Josh Allen credit in the sense that he did take ownership for it after, but I mean, he made it harder for himself in a year that Mahomes isn't there and Burrow isn't there, and we'll see if Lamar's there if they're winning on Sunday. Now, if he wants to go to a Super Bowl, he has to go on the road in 3 straight games. So can he do it? I do think they can because they do have the best quarterback in the field left. But, I mean, it's Josh Allen's show, and we'll see what happens.
Now, everybody points to the 2-point conversion in the final moments of that game as the reason the Buffalo Bills lost. I really don't. I point to the first 3 quarters where they don't score a single point. Like, what the hell? How are you in that situation to begin with, Buffalo? Like, Philly's defense is very good, and Jalen Carter is a game wrecker from Georgia. He was a game wrecker in college. He's a game wrecker in the NFL, and that Philadelphia Eagles defense is one thing when he's on the field, a very different thing when he's not on the field. And he's been dealing, he had multiple shoulder surgeries this year, and he comes back into this game, and he was fantastic yesterday. But for the Buffalo Bills, who have Super Bowl aspirations, to not score a single point in the first 3 quarters of that game and leave it up to Josh Allen heroics once again is kind of inexcusable for it to get that far in the game without scoring a point. That's why I say they're not Super Bowl contenders, not because of the 2-point conversion. That's a 50-50 play at best in the NFL. The fact that it got to that point is what has me scratching my head.
You think they're not Super Bowl contenders, though? Because
They are. They just didn't look like it yesterday.
Because they're certainly Super Bowl contenders because no one in the AFC looks all that great. I mean,
yeah.
Let's look at Denver.
You mean Denver Broncos who got a huge win over the Kansas City Chiefs 3rd string on Christmas?
I mean, literally, like the Chiefs were trying to lose the game, and the fact that was even a game is kind of beyond me. That was even like.
That's kind of how Denver's been all year. No matter what talent they play, it's going to be a close game in the 4th quarter.
I think if I'm a Bronco fan, I'm going. You give them credit for winning games, but you're going. They were trailing to the Giants. They were trailing to the Commanders. They were trailing to the Jets late. They were trailing to the Chiefs with their 3rd string out there. Like, there's a lot of these wins have been late. The Patriots have looked great at times, but then again, they haven't been there before. You just saw the Texans take down the Chargers. The Texans pass rush all over the Chargers. Yes, there was a bad call at the end of that game. We'll see if Herbert could have done something with it. But the AFC is so wide open that I still think the Bills have a shot. But if they don't do it, man, I don't know what to say about Josh Allen because there is no more excuses. No more excuses.
Yeah, I think yesterday said a lot about the Eagles too. The Eagles may have been written off already this season. I'm going to hesitate to do so. Now, the Eagles might be the only team in football this works for, but that's now twice this year. They've been held to under 20 yards and a half, and they won both those games. They're the only team to be held under 20 yards and a half twice in a season, and they've done it twice this year, and they won both the games. So maybe this Eagles team is just one of those teams that can absolutely rely on jumping on a team. They put up points in the first half, credit to them. All they needed was 13 yesterday, and then the defense won them the game in the second half. So maybe the Eagles in the NFC are a little bit more of a problem than me and a lot of us have given them credit for. We'll get to that Sunday night football game in just a little bit. We already got some comments coming in from our buddy Trey, FedEx Trey, who had a busy last couple of weeks. Trey, I figured we'd wait a little bit to get to that Sunday night game, but we will get to it. Tyler, welcome back to YouTube, man. Appreciate you being here. And if you want to follow us over on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy, find us there. You can watch the show there and jump in on the conversation like that. All right, Sammy, it's been a while, but you got a big 3 for us?
Hell yeah, I got a big 3
Okay,
for
then
it.
let's go ahead and smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Our buddy Rich on YouTube saying Eagles players killed both long shots. Yes, they did.
Yes.
That's why we love the Eagles so much, man.
The Eagles.
Shout out to our listener, Casey, who's a diehard Eagles fan.
Yeah, shout out to
Casey.
Casey.
Did you realize, Casey, the Eagles cost us money each and every single week?
And Saquon was on pace to hit. That's what was so
He
frustrating.
had a huge first half.
Like, and then you thought they had a lead, so they could run the ball.
He got like 2 touches in the second half.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
And then the one touch they give it to him on a delayed sweep. I mean, it's just beyond me that what Nick Sirianni and them call.
All right, Sammy, let's smash the big 3.
We're going to your Niners. We got to give them credit.
Who?
Fantastic Sunday night football game. Obviously, your Niners win 42-38.
Did they? I missed the game. That's weird. What happened? Was it fun? Was it entertaining?
Oh my God. Yes, it was a fun game until the end. Question A, did Purdy and Caleb silence all the doubters, number 1? And then number 2, should the Niners be the favorite in the NFC if they get the 1 seed?
All right, let's start with the Purdy and Caleb discussion. And this could probably be a future conversation on the show here today as well. Because I honestly thought both those players played incredibly yesterday. And I'm going to give Caleb Williams a ton of credit. Because it's not like the Niners have their dudes on defense right now. But they have been playing a lot better defensively as of late. And Robert Saleh has the young guys starting to cook. And what you could say for lack of experience, they make up for an athleticism, especially in the secondary for the 49ers. And Caleb Williams was dropping absolute dimes yesterday all over the secondary of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Caleb Williams looked great, and I can give him credit for that. I'll also say he should probably only throw the ball 25 yards or further down the field, because on short routes, he really does struggle. It's bizarre to me because Caleb Williams can throw some 40-yard passes that look as good as anybody in the NFL. But if he tries to throw a 5-yard slant, he cannot throw it to his wide receivers, and I don't really get it. On the Brock Purdy side of things, I mean, the game did the talking. I don't really know what else there is to say. I've heard Colin Cowherd backtrack like crazy today. What's the guy's name over on FS1 who does the show with Joy Taylor, or did the show with Joy Taylor? Emmanuel something. Acho. I saw his big take online yesterday, basically taking back everything he's ever said about Brock Purdy. All of a sudden, all the people who used to hate on him and say you can only do it because of Shanahan and the system. Last night, he was doing it by himself. Trent Williams gets hurt on the first play of the game. Brandon Ayuk hasn't been there all season. Christian McCaffrey was banged up the entire game, and he got it done with Ricky Pearsall, with Demarcus Robinson from the Chiefs. He got it done with the second team. And I don't really know what else there is to say, but that's 2 5-touchdown performances in a row for Brock Purdy. Start giving the guy some credit. And we'll start with you, Sammy.
I'll be the first to raise my hand. Brock Purdy had an exceptional game. Shout out to Brock Purdy. And that's what, to what you said, he did it by himself. And it wasn't because the defense had Warner and Bosa and was carrying them and he made a play late. They won because of Brock Purdy. I give him all the credit in the world for throwing a pick six on the first play and then responding. Like that could have been a downhill slide immediately. And the fact that he came right back out firing, went right down the field, was very impressive against a Bears defense that, although is very turnover reliant this year, has had a lot of success. So Brock Purdy deserves all the credit in the world. I think Caleb Williams deserves all the credit in the world. He was fantastic on the road. There's been a lot of Bears critics that go, they haven't really won the big game outside of that Philly game. And can Caleb really do it? I put the end of that game a lot on Ben Johnson. I don't know why on the 4th and 4 they called their second timeout. That really burned them at the end of the game. Luther Burden wasn't even set on the final play of the game. I mean, it was kind of bad 2-minute management, but I put a lot of that on the coaching staff. You see what
Shanahan said about that one?
No, what did he say?
Shanahan said he was about to call a timeout, and then he realized that the Bears were just in chaos.
Well,
so I was like, the timeout.
I mean, I'm like, that's where you needed the other timeout. But again, credit to your Niners.
Is that play the coach of the year conversation? I mean, maybe Vrabel wins it and takes it from either of them, but those are the 3 favorites right now: is Shanahan, Ben Johnson, and Mike Vrabel.
Shanahan deserves some serious consideration because of what the defense has been through. I mean, you can't lose Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, arguably your top 2 players, and then Mykel Williams, who is an emerging pass rusher, and the fact that you're still in a position to be the 1 seed is very impressive. Now, should the Niners be the favorite in the NFC? No. The Rams are the favorite in my estimation. I think the Niners have earned stripes, and they have certainly ascended to being one of the favorites. If they have home field advantage, that is a massive add for them. I think that I look at the Niners very differently from them having to go on the road versus them getting to be at home. Like I think them playing Philly is much different based on where the game is. I firmly believe that. I think if they're going to Philly, I pick Philly. If it's in San Francisco, I think that's a different story. But this final week in the NFL is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be huge. I can say this: the favorite for the representing the NFC in the Super Bowl is in the NFC West. It's one of those 3 teams, man. Yeah. I'm not sure which one, because all 3 of them are great. It's really probably going to depend on Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy, and Sam Darnold, and what order you rank those in. And right now, Matthew Stafford's number 1, so Rams should be the favorite.
There's going to be some fun bets in Vegas if you're taking the NFC West for the field.
Ooh. For a Super Bowl?
For a Super Bowl.
I like that bet a lot. I would take the NFC West. In fact, I just doubled down again on my Niners bet to win the Super Bowl. So I'm rich if the Niners win the Super Bowl this year.
All right, we're going story number 2. Let's head to the AFC. So a game that kind of got drowned out because of the Eagles and Bills game, and then the Niner game at night. The Steelers losing to the Cleveland Browns, shot to lock up the division. Ravens back in it, sets up an excellent Sunday Night Football matchup between the Ravens Steelers. Cannot wait for that one. But Myles Garrett said post-game, the Steelers were essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, more worried about not letting him get the sack record than actually winning the game. What is your reaction to this game on Sunday? And do you think the loser of this game Harbaugh or Tomlin gets fired.
What the hell, Steelers? We were just ready to give you all the credit in the world. You got that win over the Lions 2 weeks ago. You beat up on the Dolphins. You beat the Ravens back in early December. And it's like, okay, maybe we were too hasty on saying, Mike Tomlin should be fired. The Steelers are washed. They're not going to be a problem. And start giving the Steelers some credit. But then you lose to the Cleveland Browns. And Myles Garrett might actually be right. Maybe they were more concerned about the sack record than getting the win. But now just all the pressure goes on the Steelers in this game against the Ravens coming up next week. Is that Sunday Night Football?
Sunday Night Football.
I got my own set of issues with that, but that's Sunday Night Football
We'll
next
get to that
week.
in a little bit.
And it's an amazing game. And look, the Steelers just beat the Ravens. What was that, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, the Steelers just beat the Ravens, and now both teams have an equal shot at making it into the postseason. This is what football's all about, Charlie Brown, and I can't wait for that game.
I think the loser will be in serious jeopardy of losing their job, but I don't think it's necessarily
because who are you going to hire that's better than John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin?
Well, that's I wouldn't fire them. I think the pressure from the fan bases will go there. I think the bigger pressure, let's look at the Steelers for a second from losing that game. Let's look at the front office. So I get George Pickens can be kind of a head case at times, but look what happened yesterday. DK Metcalf is not there, the guy you paid all the money to. Obviously, a huge
because
loss.
he punched a fan in the face.
Because he punched a fan in the face, but he's not there.
Talk about George Pickens being a head case.
But then it's hard to kill Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin when he's throwing to MVS, Adam Thielen, both veterans who are way past their prime, and there's no help on the outside. Rodgers had barely any completions to receivers. Darnell Washington led the team in receiving, I believe, after he caught that one over the middle, and then he broke his hand at the end of the game. There's no talent on the outside of this team. The fact that Rodgers and DK were making it work is impressive in and of itself, and I think you saw that just expose yesterday, is that you went up against a good defense in the Cleveland Browns, and there was really nothing for him to do offensively. And then the Ravens side of things, I mean, the Ravens were done. Now possibly Harbaugh saying that there's a right below a 50-50 shot that Lamar's going to play. But Tyler Huntley and that offense, if they go in there into Pittsburgh and win that game, I think Mike Tomlin will be fired. I don't know if it's just, but I think he will be fired.
Snoop Huntley, let's go. All right, we're going to say big three, number 3 for the other side. We got too busy talking. We'll get to all these YouTube chats on the other side. There's some good ones in there. It's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break. Big three, number 3, as well as the Aztecs Bowl game coming up next. San Diego Sports 760 live, iHeartRadio app. All right, Sammy, we got a ton of stuff to get to here. So why don't we get to Big Three, number 3? We'll get to some of your YouTube comments and then quickly talk about the Aztecs bowl game. Big Three, number 3 was?
So the Las Vegas Raiders,
the successful tank job.
It was a successful tank job yesterday. New York Giants fans are not too happy about 2 years in a row them losing the number 1 pick on one of the final weeks of the season. But Max Crosby apparently back in the building today, but has lost commitment to the team after he posted a video of him playing basketball despite the team shutting him down the rest of the year, saying he had a massive knee injury. Well, what are your thoughts on the Raiders? Do you think if you are Fernando Mendoza, if you are Dante Moore, if you any of these quarterbacks going, would you want to go to the Las Vegas Raiders, and should Pete Carroll be the head coach of the team?
You know, we have a texter from the 858. I believe it's our buddy Tyson, who is a diehard Raiders fan. And Tyson, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. So bring him on over. Text us 70470. Start your message with team. I know we got a lot of Raiders fans listening. Okay, first of all, Max Crosby looked fantastic in that basketball video. Looked like he could dunk on anybody, and he looked like he was not dealing with any injury whatsoever. But the Raiders, it's obvious what they're doing here. They are trying to tank. And remember, there was speculation early in the week that Ashton Janty was going to be shut down too. It's almost like they had to play him, and he played well. But you look at the Las Vegas Raiders, and everyone knows what they're trying to do, and they are trying to build towards the future. And what a better example than the New England Patriots this year is there for Raiders fans to have some hope? It's like, if you get the right guy in, and maybe you believe, maybe you don't believe in Pete Carroll, but he doesn't have the roster this year. Next year can look a lot differently because you have really great building blocks with the Raiders. Max Crosby's fantastic. Ashton Janty, we all think is going to be really, really good. Max Crosby, if he stays, if he goes, is a fantastic, phenomenal, generational player. The building blocks are there. You need a quarterback. So for your question about Fernando Mendoza, absolutely I would want to go to the Las Vegas Raiders because they have a tight end one who's not going anywhere, who might be the best tight end in the league. They have a running back one who has potential to be one of the better running backs in the NFL. They need to work on the offensive line. They need to work on the wide receiving core, but the building blocks are there for the Raiders. So yeah, I would honestly, if I'm Fernando Mendoza, I'm looking at the Raiders like, thank God they're losing as many games as they are. Would I want to be stuck somewhere else?
Fair. I mean,
Vegas is not a bad place to go.
Well, hold on. Vegas has talent going forward. What has the Raiders ever shown that they've been successful at developing young talent?
Well, they got a guy who's done it before, in Pete Carroll.
But if Pete Carroll's going to be on the hot seat every year, is that he's in his 70s. He's not going to be there that much longer. I think in terms of, if you look at just the pure team and take away the fact that the Raiders usually screw everything up, if you take that aside, yes, you have Janty. Yes, you have Brock Bowers. I would trade Max Crosby and try to get as many picks as possible and completely rebuild the defense, i.e. what Dallas did with Micah. Max Crosby's unbelievable. One of the best pass rushers in the game, but the defense has been awful for years. And it's because they have one player on that side of the ball and a lot of guys. The Raiders have not had a secondary in 15 years. That's not hyperbole. They have not had a good secondary in a decade and a half. They need to kind of rejump this thing. I would roll with Pete because I don't know who you're going to get. Like, you're going to get Brian Dable. I mean, I don't know what that does. He failed with the Giants. But I think if you're a Giants fan, I know a lot of Giants fans are pissed off today about how do we lose the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. Obviously, you'd want the number 1 pick because it allows a lot of trade opportunities.
But you have your quarterback.
That's my thing. It could be the biggest blessing in disguise for Giants fans there's ever been. Because if the pressure of New York, the pressure of the fact
also, you got Abdul Carter with the 2nd pick last year. He looks pretty good.
Well, they were going to be pressured in taking Mendoza because the city of New York was going to come undone if the thought of that you're not going to take Mendoza and then he's going to turn into something, and you had the number 1 pick and you hadn't done it, and the Giants have been irrelevant since the Eli Manning years. Jackson Dart is a good player. I know the concussions have been an issue, but Jackson Dart has been playing really well, honestly, without Neighbors, without Scatabo. You have a great young pass rush. You're going to get a new head coach in there. It could be the greatest thing that ever happened to the Giants if they didn't kind of luck into the number 1 pick, because they probably would have been forced to take a quarterback and instead of just building the team going forward.
All right, YouTube comments. FedEx Trey says, hope you all got your packages on time with love. I know I did.
FedEx Trey, the man.
FedEx Trey, thank you for everything you do, man. We need you in this society here in 2025. You are actually one of the most important jobs in the world. Our buddy Casey, who also has a pretty important job, Casey brews beer. Casey said, you mean all those negative 3-yard runs from Saquon didn't help?
Yeah.
They did not help. He also says, if it makes you feel better, they screwed me to 0 completions in the second half is Super Bowl type stuff.
What does that mean?
Is that sarcasm, Casey? I'm not sure where you're going with that, but
Yeah,
that's for the Eagles. John says, Fletchstone roll call. Welcome back, fellas. Hell of a ball game last night. Chargers are in the beginning stages of another epic choke job.
Yes.
Oh, those Chargers, man.
Oh my God. We got a lot of them in this building that are not too happy today.
Yeah, we'll get to the Chargers in just a little bit. John also saying Brock Purdy had a great game. Credit where credit is due. The Dougie has got to go, though.
Yeah. It's like, hey, bud, I'm not going to get into it.
Look, there's certain things. I'm about to be 30 years old here in a couple months. There's certain things you learn when you're a white dude. You don't have swag, Brock. All right. Like, I get it if it's a joke. I'm all about Dougie and for a joke, but I do think he's doing it seriously, and it is a little disconcerting.
It's Brock. We need to retire that. Like, yeah, you don't look cool doing it. It's not a look for you. Like, it's
like Rob Gronkowski had some of the coolest white dude Super Bowl or celebrations ever, and it was spiking the football. Just find your spike, Brock. We don't need you to do the Dougie.
You're not. First off, your hips don't move like that.
No.
So relax on the Dougie.
No, and I think he's talked about it. He talks about it's trying to like give the offensive line get them hyped up and stuff. But you're trying to be cool, and it's not that cool. Trey says Kyle outdueled Ben Johnson last night, and it's okay. Ben very much admires Kyle Shanahan, and he'll learn from this. Trey is a Chicago Bears fan. Lori says, okay, enough sports talk. What did you guys think about the Stranger Things, Fletch?
I thought it was a lot of filler until the finale.
Thank you. They have an opportunity to save it, but I was a little disappointed with the 3 episodes that dropped for Christmas.
I feel like you could have not watched the 3 episodes and guessed. I don't want to spoil anything, but what was the cliffhanger was going to be, and you go, okay, we can just pick up with the finale.
No, there was a big reveal. We learned all about what the Upside Down actually has been this whole time, and I dig that. I like the lore behind everything, but again, this could have been a memo sent out by the directors of the show, like, hey, this is what's coming up.
Are you seeing
the Nancy Jonathan thing? God, I was like, why are we spending 20 minutes on this right now?
I'm like, guys, you're about to die, and we're having a whole just monologue about how you love each other. I'm like,
oh, never mind. No spoilers.
Oh, sorry. I should dump that.
Yeah, it's all right.
I dumped it. Sorry if you're Stranger Things.
Yeah, but it was ridiculous. I liked it, didn't love it. They have an opportunity to save it here coming up in 3 days when they No,
it's New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Are you doing the theater thing that they're releasing them in theaters?
I saw that. We're supposed to go to a New Year's Eve party. I'm actually gonna have to stay up till midnight for the first time in like a decade on New Year's Eve. I'm not looking forward to that, but
well, of course you got to stay up to midnight.
Oh, I never do. I watch the New York broadcast, go to sleep. Let Andy Cohen and what's his name take me. I'll get drunk on tequila. Cooper. Yeah,
that was the best when they were just hammered a couple years ago, and then they had to stop giving him alcohol.
Anderson Cooper, I could take it or leave it. Andy Cohen, national treasure.
National treasure.
That guy's hilarious. If you've ever watched his show, my wife watches it all the time. Like there will be times where I'm watching something on my phone, like sports, and my wife has Andy Cohen's talk show on. And I just end up dying laughing. That dude is very, very funny. All right, we got to take a break. We're way too long. San Diego Sports 760. We'll get to the Aztecs bowl game on the other side. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by USA Fencing. Monday Night Football tonight should be a good one right here on San Diego Sports 760. Pregame gets going at 5. Game gets going at 5:15. Rams on the road in Atlanta taking on the Falcons. Rams are currently 7-point favorites with the point total set at 48.5. And after the Lakers went on a 3-game losing streak, culminating in a 25-point loss to the Rockets on Christmas, Lakers got back on track last night, beating the Kings 125-101. They'll be hosting the top seed in the Eastern Conference in the Detroit Pistons tomorrow night at Crypto. Ever wanted to try an Olympic and Paralympic sport? Try fencing. It's fast, safe, and easy to start. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/try fencing. That's usafencing.org/try fencing.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy along with you. If it's your first time trying us out, you picked a good time because it's about to be a big 2026 for this show. We can't wait for it. Hopefully you're along for the ride. Sammy and I were just talking. We're building a nice little base here of YouTube members, of texters. We love you all. Thank you for being here.
Hell yeah, it means
our
a lot.
favorite part of our job is interacting with you. So blow those things up. Text line 70470. Start your message with team. YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. You could join along with people like Lori, who says, I agree with you guys about Stranger Things. Okay, now back to sports. Go Rams. Man, Stranger Things, a little disappointing, those 3 episodes. I'll be honest.
We'll see with the finale, but not the best 3-episode run in the series.
Finale's going to kick ass. I'm confident about that. But those 3 episodes felt like a lot of wasted time. All right, 2 things here. Aztecs bowl game. We'll start with that. I was in New Mexico for it. Had a lot of fun. New Mexico's a cool spot. I was there for less than 24 hours, but it was cool. The bowl game itself, I thought San Diego State showed a lot that should get you excited about the future, but a little disappointed in the game. They put up 40-something points. The offense was on fire. Bert Emanuel Jr. Started the game.
Thought they put up 47.
Seriously.
Like,
wow. Because you look at what they had going into that game. Jaden Denegal had shoulder surgery after the New Mexico game, so he was not playing in this game. Bert Emanuel Jr. was the starting quarterback. He got hurt right before halftime after putting up like 170 rushing yards and a couple rushing touchdowns. Kyle Crum, who's been in the program for 4 years now, gets his first playing action since 2022 and kind of balled out. Like, it was a fun game. North Texas played everybody, man. They got this redshirt freshman quarterback, Mestamaker, who is about to make like $5 million in NIL money, but he played well, and they have awesome running backs. They had one of the nation's best offenses all year, and San Diego State hung with them, which should get you excited about the future for San Diego State, because that was a lot of second and third stringers playing for the Aztecs. Where I do get a little disappointed, and I don't blame Sean Lewis necessarily for going for 2 that early in the game. I do blame the execution a little bit. It wasn't really a play that had a lot of shot to go for it. And the reason you go for 2 is a lot of reason, like people would go for 2 against the Chiefs a couple years ago, because you know that the offense on the other side is going to put up 1 million points. So you want to get out in front early. But think about if San Diego State doesn't go for 2 in that situation. The game is tied at the end. It was 7 touchdowns to 7 touchdowns. San Diego State loses by 2 because they went for 2 twice. So that's the only thing I get hung up on. But ultimately, 9-win season coming off a 3-win season.
right.
There's a lot to celebrate about the Aztecs.
There's, and I know expectations got kind of high there when they were, had 1 loss, and I don't know how realistic it was, but there was some chatter about could they slide in as a, as the college football playoff team.
If they went undefeated after that Hawaii or before the Hawaii game, I do think they end up in the college football playoff.
And I really think the best thing that ever happened to them is they didn't make it. And I know that sounds like I went to San Diego State. I wanted them to be there, but sometimes you can rise too fast in a weird way. And we go back to 3 wins a season ago, 9 wins. You competed in a bowl game. Look, I get you lost, but North Texas was perennially in the top 25 this year. Being able to put up 47 points, because listen, we know San Diego State's going to get the defense wired in. That's never really a concern with Aztecs football, is that they're not going to be able to play defense.
And that was their second string defense.
Completely.
Neither of their starting cornerbacks, including the best cornerback in the country, were playing in that game. Owen Chambliss was in for like 2 drives and then was out. And now we hear he's in the transfer portal. So We'll see about him. But it was literally backups playing defense.
It sounds like basic, but at least they competed. Like bowl games, you get into what they mean and all that.
And entertaining as hell.
It was entertaining as hell, and I think that's been some criticism at times. Is that, hey, they play sound football, but it's not always the most entertaining game. It was fun to see San Diego State compete this year. 9 wins. The program's moving in the right direction, and it just raises the bar, hopefully, for next year.
I got a bunch of texts on the post game show, and it was like a lightning fast post game show because I thought I was going to get left by the team bus. I didn't, by the way. I made it just in time. But a bunch of these texts, which I thought were really good. 805 said San Diego State's second and third stringers fought hard and never gave up, but couldn't overcome the dumb penalties and poor tackling. Please, please, please stop running trick plays. All they do is blow up in our face. This season exceeded expectations, and San Diego State football has a bright future. Hopefully, White and Chambliss return for the first season in the Pac-12. The update on that is Trey White said he's going to make a decision here in the next couple of days about transfer portal, about all that. I do know there's a big push from San Diego State to try to keep Trey White, and a big part of the Finish the Climb campaign, which got met. So that's $2 million extra in NIL money for next year. Owen Chambliss has entered or will enter the transfer portal here in a couple of days, but we'll see about his return as well. Now it kind of all comes down to NIL and what you can do in that space. And San Diego State's heading in the right direction there as well. But it is going to take more because it's not going to be the $20 million that a Michigan has. It's going to be $6 or $7 million. So what can you do with that 6 or 7 to put the best roster on the table as possible and try to have a team that could win the Pac-12 championship in the first year?
Well, it starts with what they're building, and like we can just all be honest, San Diego for years was a recruiting ground for, and still is to an extent, but USC, UCLA, Arizona State. It was if you were a 5-star kid or 4-star kid from San Diego, you were going up north to Los Angeles, or you were going out east. You're like, that's kind of what it was. And it's cool how Sean Lewis, though, is changing the narrative that you're seeing some local recruits kind of staying home with the Aztecs. And that starts by winning. You know, it's you can have the greatest pitch of all time, but if they're not seeing you on big game days playing in meaningful games, guys, and I can't blame them, are selfish and going to look out for themselves and go, I'm trying to get to the NFL. I'm trying to achieve my dreams. And the best way to do that is to be playing on the national stage. Again, going from 3 wins to 9 wins. You start stacking this thing where people are going, hey, man, the Aztec football program's on the map. And not just locally, not just us talking about it, but people start recognizing them. And the fact that they hung with a North Texas, a team that was kind of thought of to slide in that playoff as one of the
They would have if they would have beat Tulane.
Right.
In the final week of their regular season.
So, like, the fact that they showed out in that game, it's impressive. And to that texter's point about how it is fun. The one thing about bowl games, and we can get into this a little bit later this week about you know, does the college football playoff, the kind of maybe the less importance of bowl games. The one really fun thing about bowl games that aren't in the college football playoff is if you're a fan of that team, it is fun seeing the guys who are going to be here next year and get some real looks, because it really is your one live game action before next year, where you're going to get to see guys that can step up and make performances in spots on the team for next year. So it was fun seeing them. It sucks they lost, but I thought they showed up and they fought, and that's all you can ask for.
And for San Diego State, those two guys are two young wide receivers, Hawkins and Jalen Hawkins and Nathan Acevedo, who both played really, really well against the Mean Green. All right, 2 more texts before we get to long shots from that Aztecs football game. 760 said, unfortunately, my Mean Green has to deal with the likelihood of losing Mestamaker, Hawkins, and other Power 4 school or others to Power 4 schools after already losing their coach. And I'm now concerned Kyle Crum will be tempted to leave San Diego State. I really hate this part of college football and basketball. Congratulations to the Power 4 conferences, including the SEC, whose motto is we just pay more. 858 said, this game is really much like the season, really good, but so close to being great. Trying to go for 2 points twice when you didn't need to. This team showed some grit today. Excited for next year, from Jeff. And a couple more texts that we got on Saturday night that I wasn't able to get to. All right, long shots is coming up next. We had a ridiculously hot week 2 weeks ago. Last week, Christmas, Saquon Barkley screwed us. We'll see where we're going today. Sam, we got a Monday night football game and a good one.
We do. We've been feeling
Primetime
good.
Football's been nice.
The last few weeks we've either been hitting 2 or 3s or we've been cashing. So ride with us today. We got some special picks coming up next, and excited for this Monday night football game.
We also, I know Christmas is over with, but we got more gifts to give out. San Diego State, Boise State tickets for this Saturday night are coming up on the show. So don't go anywhere. Sammy, smash the commercial. San Diego Sports 760. It's the Fletch Zone. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. Catch up on some of these texts here before we get to long shots. Raiders fan from the 858. Tyson says, I get the players want to play and Max Crosby's tough and wants to be in every snap, but without a quarterback coaches want to work with, then you lose the best prospects. No serious coach will come to Las Vegas unless they have Mendoza. That's why they're trying to get the number one pick. 858.
And the question is all of a sudden Dante Moore, because of how he played, albeit against James Madison, is getting some love from Oregon to be the number one pick.
858. Why am I so surprised Tyler Shucks didn't make your guys' big three? Who dat, baby? Saints played well. 858. Love the Andy Anderson shout out. Fletch, I also watch Andy Cohen's talk show via my wife, and yes, he is hilarious. Easily the top New Year's Eve show.
Andy Cohen's the man.
Andy Cohen is funny as hell. 858. Bills fan here, ready to chug this bleach with Sammy.
I felt like I was very kind to your Bills. I still said that they're a Super Bowl.
No, he's agreeing with you. He's ready to like you with the Chiefs. He's in that similar headspace.
The Bills are
858. Please don't chug bleach.
The Bills are in a weird spot because Josh Allen messed the game up yesterday. I mean, let's all say it like it is. He missed a wide open throw.
Mm-hmm.
All I asked for when I've critiqued guys like Brock Purdy and Josh Allen, I don't hate Brock Purdy or Josh Allen. I just want consistency. I just want people
back-to-back weeks with 5 total touchdowns.
So no, and that's why I praise Brock
Consistent.
Purdy. I just want people to hold Josh Allen the same standard that we would hold Lamar Jackson, that we would hold Justin Herbert, that we would hold Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes to. That's all I'm asking. And do I think that Josh Allen, the Bills, still have a shot to go to the Super Bowl? I do. I really do, because I don't see a team in the AFC field that is so much better than everyone. The Chargers have no offensive line. The Broncos, I don't trust Bo Nix. The Patriots haven't been there before. I think the Jags still have to prove that they're a legit contender. I certainly could see the Bills going to the Super Bowl. But if he doesn't, that's a massive indictment on Josh Allen's career.
858, 100% wrong on the Dougie Purdy. I need that every Sunday if it means he's dropping 5 touchdowns. Yeah, he can keep dancing as long as he's throwing 5 touchdowns or accounting for 5 total touchdowns in every single game. All right, it's kind of crazy. The Niners putting up like 45 plus points in every single game they play. I mean, they might need it considering the defense, but it's kind of crazy what's happening right now. I'd put another $40 on them to win the Super Bowl during that last commercial break.
All the money that I've made you in long shots
has all gone to a Niners Super Bowl bet.
Well, that's just disappointing because, they say invest, they say put in smart investments.
Sammy, we're rich if the Niners win the Super Bowl. Sorry, not me, because you doubt it every single second.
All I want to say is back to the Bills and Niners. This is your year because, your daddy's not in it and Patrick Mahomes.
The Chiefs have a top 5 pick.
Now I'm starting to come around. Maybe the Niners really do have a shot because that bad man won't just be there in the Super Bowl.
Shots. Did you hear Chris Collinsworth last night? Basically, Brock Purdy is Patrick Mahomes now. So we can talk about daddy. We'll show you
overthrowing guys in the overtime of the Super Bowl.
Let's get to long shots. Sammy, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
All right, Sammy.
Are you ready for this parlay?
I'm ready. We made some money recently on these.
We have made some money. That's the point of this. We're making money for everyone.
I like it.
All right, let's start with the NFL. Okay. We're going
the account's looking real nice. What have you been doing to us lately, Sammy? There's actually money in my account.
I also had a very good weekend personally, betting on the Eagles and the Giants money line. Just quiet. Texans as well and Ravens. I hit all 4 money lines. All I needed was the Bears. I would have really been rich, but that's
You were betting against the Niners?
I placed that bet on Thursday.
How dare you?
And it almost came true, but Ben Johnson messed the game up. All right, Kirk Cousins, more than 225.5 pass yards. Guys, he's going to be playing from behind in this game in Atlanta. Now, the Rams, it's an interesting storyline with this game. I don't think people are giving it enough credit. So the Rams own the Falcons pick. So not only do the Rams want to win because they want to, move up in the standings and keep pace and all that, they also want the Falcons to lose because they want the best draft pick possible. So this game really means a lot to the Rams. I think we're going to see a highly motivated Rams team tonight. Therefore, I think the Falcons are going to be playing from behind. Kirk Cousins has been nice. Let's give Kirk some love. Kirk this year, the past month and a half, in playing with not a lot of pressure after Michael Penix went out, the offense has looked pretty good. And you got a lot of talent there. Drake London is questionable tonight. They think he's going to go. You got Darnell Mooney there. Kyle Pitts has had a complete resurgence with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, not Michael Penix. I think Cousins has a backdoor cover opportunity covering this late more than 225.5 pass yards. And if we are looking at the Rams' one weakness, the one thing you look at the Rams, you go, that could give me some pause, it would be the corner situation. Emmanuel Forbes, the former top 10 pick, has played well for them, but that's not the strength of their team.
Maybe the Rams could go get Eric Weddle out of retirement again to come stabilize their secondary.
My high school football coach.
Yeah, no, they did that to win the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They got Eric Weddle out of retirement. He was awesome.
Yeah. But all right, so Kirk Cousins more than 225.5 pass yards. All right, a new name that everyone's going to get familiar with tonight. All right, Kanata Mumfield.
Ooh,
late round pick, day 3 pick, rookie this year. More than 23.5 receiving yards for the Los Angeles Rams. That Seattle game that I think was obviously all about Darnold and the fact the comeback kind of got overshadowed with Devontae Adams being out. Mumfield kind of had a little bit of a resurgence, and I actually missed on long shots that day. I thought Tutu Atwell was going to be the guy that was going to get those kind of touches that Devontae Adams normally gets. But Kanata Mumfield is pretty Mumfield.
For all of you trying to spell right now, because he's not in the popular picks.
Yes, Kanata, Konata space MUPMP Field. What's wrong with that?
I think you spelled his last name wrong.
Whatever. People can find it. People can find it. You can look it up in the Rams depth chart.
Mumfield.
Anyway, Mumfield was the guy that was really getting a lot of targets in that game. Stafford's go-to guy, obviously behind Puka Nacua. But I thought Atwell was going to become that. But Atwell really is kind of the speed burner. They run some gadgety plays for him. Mumfield has been pretty good for them. I think he'll be a part of the offense tonight. More than 23.5 receiving yards for Kanata Mumfield. And then we're going to go to a deep cut NBA game tonight. We're in New Orleans Pelicans and the New York Knicks. Okay. Knicks, massive comeback win on Christmas in the morning. Against Cleveland. Cleveland was up big in that game, but the Knicks come back down. Jalen Brunson was fantastic despite Donovan Mitchell absolutely balling out on Christmas Day. We're going to go to the New Orleans Pelicans, though. The New Orleans Pelicans are not a very good team this year, but they do have a lot of young talent. Derek Queen has really been emerging for them recently. Jeremiah Fierce, the young guard out of Oklahoma, he has really been emerging for them. There's some young talent on this team that in the coming years, I actually think the New Orleans Pelicans will be pretty good. But we're going to go to the old faithful, the former Golden State Warrior, Jordan Poole, more than 13.5 points in this one. Poole plays big in big spots. It's one of the few players, he only shows up in the big games, whether it's in the Garden or important. He's putting up a lot of shots with this team. Fears and Queen are kind of running it as along with Zion, but Poole is that kind of veteran guy to match the total that Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and these guys are going to be outputting, because the New York Knicks should be one of the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. Jordan Poole, more than 13.5 points for the New Orleans Pelicans tonight.
I like it. You want to give the quickest recap of all time?
Kirk Cousins, more than 225.5 pass yards. Kanata Mumfield, receiver for the LA Rams, more than 23.5 receiving yards. Jordan Poole for the New Orleans Pelicans, more than 13.5 points.
Remember Jordan Poole's mid-range game with one of those Warriors championships teams?
He's unbelievable.
The dude went 5 straight games in the postseason, making everything within 10 or 7 feet.
He was supposed to be the successor, and then him and Draymond had a falling out. He had a falling out with Steve Kerr. They got him out of town, and he shipped him to Washington, where he could shoot 30 shots a game and not be held accountable. The game against the Lakers, where he threw up the almost half-court three and didn't give the ball to Steph in the playoffs, was Jordan Poole's undoing with the Golden State Warriors.
How about that? A little history lesson from Sammy Long. All right, hour number 2 is a big hour. We have Aztecs basketball tickets against Boise State to give away coming up in hour number 2. Yes, all you Charger fans, we're going to give you a little talking to coming up next, because Chargers ruined something amazing that could have been happening. And also, I had one more thing that I wanted to talk about in hour 2, and now I'm not remembering what it is. So we'll get to it next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is furnished by Genuine. In the NFL tonight, got a good Monday Night Football matchup. Atlanta hosting the LA Rams, who are trying to keep pace in the standings there in the NFC. The Rams are currently 7-point favorites. The point total is set at 48.5. That game is going at 5:15. Pre-game at 5 o'clock. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 716. The Lakers got back on track last night with a win over the Sacramento Kings, 125-101. They'll be back tomorrow night against the Detroit Pistons. This report has been furnished by Genuine.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Sound off like you got a pair.
Nothing like some artwork when you're going to take a piss.
Christmas has come and gone. Now it gets serious. With 1 week to go, who's in?
He looks to the middle. He moves up. He throws it left. Easy pitch and catch. Uncontested. Touchdown. Hunter Henry. The Jags remain in first place in the AFC South. How good is that?
The NFL postseason picture takes shape.
Throws, and it is incomplete. The ball game is over, and the 49ers have won it.
The Aztecs made their bowl game interesting.
Handoff Washington straight ahead. There he goes. Touchdown Aztecs. It's 49-41.
And some things happened since we last spoke.
Dak Prescott, more than 271.5 pass yards.
All right.
Jared Goff, less than 32.5 passing attempts.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Saquon Barkley, more than 82.5 rush yards.
Oh, I'm a failure.
I'll make up for it now.
AJ Brown, less than 20.5 receiving yards in his first 2 receptions.
You cannot be serious. Abominable.
Can you believe that?
Let's talk about it all right now from the San Diego Sports 760 studios in the Flex Zone.
Screw the Eagles is the thing you take away from that big show opener.
Yeah.
The Eagles really did it to us over the weekend. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. It's hour number 2. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We got you for a whole another hour, and we got a lot to get to. We're going to start with the Chargers in just a second because they ruined something that could have been amazing in a couple of weeks. We'll also get to tonight's Monday Night Football game. Sammy told you Rams are the favorites by 7 points. You're going to hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And we also got some tickies to give away. If you want to go see San Diego State take on...
Did you just say tickies?
I did. Yeah, I did. Thank you for catching that, Sammy. San Diego State, Boise State coming up this Saturday night at Viejas Arena. Just don't go anywhere because we'll be giving those away very, very soon. But let's start off with the Chargers here. The Los Angeles Chargers of Anaheim, or whatever we're calling them these days.
Well, they're in Inglewood now.
Inglewood. All right. The Chargers ruined something that could have been beautiful. Now, I'll be honest, I was not watching this game. I was in the booth in New Mexico doing the Aztecs bowl game, but I was keeping an eye on the score because I knew that if the Chargers had beaten the Texans and the Colts had beaten who were the Colts playing?
Jaguars.
The Jags. It was very likely that the Chargers and the Colts could have been playing in the postseason.
That'd have been fantastic.
Which would have been one of the coolest things that could ever happen.
Highest rated game in San Diego, I think, ever.
I don't even think you're wrong about that.
If Phillip Rivers had a shot to beat Dean Spanos and the Chargers and the Los Angeles Chargers, that might be the highest rated game the city has ever seen, regardless of sport.
I think you're right. It would have been incredible. We would have done probably 3 full days leading up to that game of can Phillip beat the Chargers, and then another 2 days afterwards, after Phillip did beat the Chargers, about how he beat the Chargers. You talk about NFL gold. Script writers would have loved it, but it's not going to come to be because before it was even a shot of being possible, the Chargers screwed it up. And like our buddy John said on YouTube, Phil could never rely on the Chargers. That's very funny. But yeah, it's not going to happen because the Chargers screwed it up. The Colts have been eliminated from the postseason, but Philly Riv will still go out there and give it one more go next week for the Indianapolis Colts. But that gets you to the wider picture of the NFL postseason. And there's a ton of games that matter in week 18. So there's still 2 spots up for grabs. And lucky enough, all 4 of the teams who are eligible for those 2 spots are playing against each other. So Panthers and Bucks will play each other in the final week of the season, setting up for an amazing game. They just played each other like 2 weeks ago, and they're already playing each other again. That's a Saturday game?
Saturday before your Niners and Seahawks.
That's right.
And I know you have a problem with.
I know. It's a big problem. Sunday Night Football is going to be the Steelers and the Ravens, and that's where my problem truly lies, but I guess I get it. AFC North battle for which team gets in, which team doesn't. So let's start with this, Sammy, before we get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. Panthers, Bucks, Steelers, Ravens. I need 2 words for this answer. Who are the 2 teams that make it to the postseason?
Ravens, and despite the fact that the Bucks have been playing terrible football, I think they win it. I think Baker outduels Young. So I'm gonna go Bucks and Ravens.
That's like 50 words. That was too many words.
I have to give some thought.
I'm going Ravens Panthers, actually. I think Bryce Young has been turning it on at the right time. This is going to be a chaotic game, and you know how much I love Baker Mayfield, but I do think it's going to be Panthers. It's going to be Ravens who make it to the postseason.
We're both going Ravens on the road.
I'm taking Ravens on the road.
Yeah, I'm 100% confident.
The
now,
Steelers showed you everything you needed to see this past week.
Now, them being 3.5-point favorites
Steelers are?
No, the Ravens are on the road. That would scare me because we know that these games are going to be very close. I just think Aaron Rodgers has no help. And despite if it's Lamar, I think the Ravens are definitely winning. Even Tyler Huntley, people forgot. He played in that playoff game against the Bengals. Like, he's played in a lot of actually big games for the Ravens.
Talking about Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley.
I mean, remember the Bengal game where they would have won had they not fumbled on the 1 yard line and Trey Hendrickson had the 99-yard return. Like, Huntley can run this team. I know he only threw for like 150 yards, but if Derrick Henry's running the football, my thing is this, whether you're a Steeler fan or a Ravens fan, not that I care about either team in terms of like them, the Ravens getting in would be a fun wrinkle because they were completely wrote off, left for dead. You have the same angle of that we talk about with Josh Allen, that they can't win the big playoff games. The same goes for Lamar. It would be a really interesting last angle if there was another big time quarterback, established big time quarterback in the AFC that joins Allen. It would be a fun. I think they have a shot of going farther than the Steelers do.
I would agree, especially if Lamar can play in the postseason or if he can play this upcoming Sunday night, which instead of having the game that's literally going to decide the NFC in Steelers Niners, you're putting that on Saturday night while Ben Fletcher's working. This is just not cool, NFL. What are we doing?
So, because Fletcher and I will be there at the pregame for the Aztecs.
That's your pregame show, dude. I don't know what.
If you need me to take it, I'll do it because I understand. If the Chiefs were playing, like, I'd probably be sick. I'm not gonna lie. But
I get into this business so I can do things like I'm going to be doing Saturday night. I will give 110% of my effort to the San Diego State basketball.
Are you going to watch the game or are you going to record it?
There's no way I'm making it through the entire Aztecs basketball game with the Niners game recorded. There's no way I'm doing that. Like, stuff is going to happen. I'm going to see it. I have my computer out the entire basketball game while I'm getting ready for halftime and stuff. There's no way I don't see a score. I don't know what I'm going to do, Sammy. I haven't thought that far ahead, but right now I know what I'm going to do right this second. I'm going to be pissed at the NFL for not swapping those games.
Yeah, but it is. Listen, I got you, but the Niners and Seahawks will both be in the playoffs.
Talking about 6 and 7 seeds versus the 1 seed.
We're talking about no. We're talking about the 4 seed.
Okay, you're right, because whoever wins the
Steelers and Ravens, one of the iconic rivalries in all of football. For a shot to get in the postseason is cinema on Sunday Night Football.
And Niners Seahawks isn't.
I think Steelers Ravens is a bigger rivalry than Seahawks Niners
over the last decade.
We're talking about history.
Over the last decade. There's no better rivalry in the NFL than Niners Seahawks. Talking about the Legion of Boom versus Patrick Willis.
It's a great rivalry. I'm just saying you're acting like it's crazy that the Ravens Steelers, 2 huge markets, got put above it.
Some of the best primetime games of the last 5 or 6 years. The Dre Greenlaw stop at the 1 yard line to determine who's going into the postseason.
I watched the game. I remember it. That was also the end of the season too. So they went a little change. You were just on Sunday Night Football.
The 1 seed in the NFC is not Sunday Night Football.
Aaron Rodgers' potential last game is not marketable on Sunday Night Football versus maybe Lamar Jackson in one of the most heated rivalries, and with both coaches, maybe the loser being fired.
I'm working Saturday night. This is about me. This is me we're talking about. The NFL screwed me. They have it out for me. They have since day one. I know it. I've watched it. I've seen it happen. That's why they gave the Chiefs 2 Super Bowls over the 49ers. I understand what's going on. Yeah, the NFL just hates me, and I'm okay with that. I will survive.
Then why do you watch if it's rigged?
It's so rigged.
Exactly.
All right, Sammy, let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2.
Childish take.
Go ahead and smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Co-workers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Stay right here. Don't change that station if you want to win some Aztecs basketball tickets for this Saturday's game during the 49ers game. All right, Sammy, where are we going?
Let's go to let's head to go kind of NFL college football. So Marcus Freeman was kind of the hot NFL head coaching candidate from Notre Dame. So he is staying at at Notre Dame as of today. He spurns the NFL. Apparently, the Giants job, they were interested in him. Who knows about the Raiders? And then this comes after last week. So kind of the drama with Notre Dame getting left out of the playoff, had beef with the ACC commissioner, who they kind of have it. They're not in the ACC, but they schedule a lot of games. And then last week, USC Notre Dame, the rivalry is done. So a lot of people have criticized.
That's stupid, by the way. Just my quick 2 cents on that.
Okay, we're going to get into that. USC has gotten killed for kind of ending the rivalry. Lincoln Riley responded today at their presser for the Alamo Bowl tomorrow, said, quote, had Notre Dame lived up to their word and played us anytime, anywhere, we'd be playing them in the next 2 seasons. Two-parter. Is Notre Dame a better job than, let's say, the Giants or the Raiders for Marcus Freeman? And what do you think of one of the premier rivalries of college football not being there?
I think it's stupid is what I think about the rivalry game ending. But going to Marcus Freeman and staying at Notre Dame, John Schaefer and I were actually just having this conversation over breakfast, actually, in New Mexico, a lovely little place. But we were talking about the age-old discussion, college or pro, what's a better job? And when you start to think about it here in 2025 and very soon in 2026, NFL is a better job. And I'll give you the reason why. You could make the argument 5 or 6 years ago that college was better because you have control over everything. It's like you become one of the highest paid people in the state. You have more power than the governor. Wait, we can get into all of that if you're at one of the big SEC schools or at a school like Notre Dame where you have this massive, massive fan base. But today, imagine a college football head coach's job today. You wake up not knowing who's on your team. Literally, like people could be just entering into the transfer portal willy-nilly. You wake up having meetings about everything but college football, promotional meetings about what's going to be, what commercial you're shooting next, meetings about NIL money and the allocation you get, meetings with donors, which I would imagine is exhausting, having to go schmooze people over and over again because Marcus Freeman, I promise you, when whatever Chevy of the what's it called? South Bend. The Chevrolet of South Bend is going to give us $14 million next year, but we need you to go talk to whoever Joe is in charge of that place. That sounds like a kind of exhausting life. In the NFL, you show up to the office, you know who's on your team, they're all under contract. The biggest headache you have is, did DK Metcalf punch a fan in the face? But it's a headache you deal with, right? I do think that at this point in time, Marcus Freeman would have been better off just saying no to all the drama of college football these days and going and taking the Giants job with 3 really young, exciting, promising young players in Jackson Dart, Cam Scattaboo, and Malik Neighbors. That feels like the better job to me.
Especially with the uncertainty surrounding Notre Dame. So Notre Dame is not in a conference, and that has hurt them because, as evidence in this college football playoff, they're not in it because they didn't get a shot on championship weekend to prove it. And for years, people have said you should get in the Big Ten, you should get in the ACC. Why they're not in the Big Ten is beyond me. It fits geographically, it fits logically, it makes no sense. They only do it because they have a massive contract with NBC where they don't want to share any of the revenue with the Big Ten. They're like, yeah, we're going to keep it to ourselves. Now, the flip side of that, you've blown up your relationship with the ACC, who has been kind of going down for years. In the USC Notre Dame thing, listen, I love the rivalry. As a USC fan, I've watched. That's a game that I watch every season. It's must-watch TV. But I do hear the point of USC outside of the tradition, and it sucks. I wish they were still doing the rivalry, so I want to make that very clear. But USC has to play a tough schedule. USC has to play Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon, and all these in Indiana in the Big Ten, while Notre Dame needs the game because they need a ranked win on their schedule. Guys, what you're seeing with Notre Dame is they're starting to get iced out with scheduling. People are like, join a conference, or we're just not going to schedule you. So Marcus Freeman going back to Notre Dame, listen, he's getting paid a ton of money. He's the man up there. They went to the championship last year. They have a case they should have been in the college football playoff this year. But I'm with you, Ben. I like having to constantly recruit your own guys. Just because you get a commitment from a player doesn't mean anything. It used to be if you were signing a recruit who was 3 years from now, he was coming to your program. Now, commitments don't mean anything. Even guys on your own team, it doesn't mean anything because they can enter the portal at whatever. I would want to be in the NFL where you are strictly coaching the team. Everyone wants to play in the NFL. It's not, hey, I got an offer from 20 other schools that are more, so I'm going to spurn you and leave. I don't get this from Marcus Freeman. I don't know why the Giants job hasn't been more attractive because I feel like that is a job that'll be big next year, but we'll see who gets that job.
Not to hijack the big 3, but just for a second here, see this Anthony Joshua news?
Yeah, that was scary.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see it till just now. Apparently, Anthony Joshua, who just knocked out Jake Paul in that fight, was just in a car crash that was pretty bad. 2 people died. He wasn't driving; he was in the back. One of the tires burst on his car, ran into a truck that was parked. Oh my god!
Yeah, I saw it this morning. That's a bummer.
Fighting Jake Paul must be a curse or something.
Fighting Jake Paul's
honestly not trying to make this a joke or anything, but goodness gracious! All right, Sammy, what's next?
Let's head to, so we talked about the Bills-Eagles from the Bills side of things earlier. We talked about them missing the 2-point conversion. Should they be one of the favorites in the AFC? We haven't talked about the other side, though. We haven't talked about Philly. So Philly, just like all these games this year, the Packers, the Lions, the Bills, they're beating, quote, good football teams, but it doesn't look good. They have 20 yards of offense in the second half. My question is this: where should they rank in terms of like favorites in the NFC? Because part of me goes, it's like you have to beat the champs, you got to actually beat them. And it's a tough place to play in Philly to go in there and win. But when you're looking at the team and the offense is so anemic and awful to watch at times, and it feels like they're just hanging on by the skin of their teeth, it does feel like these teams with electric offenses in the NFC are going to blow right by them. But until they do it, they feel like they deserve some respect.
So for Philly, their most likely seeding is going to be the 4 seed. Right, because with the Rams win tonight, the Rams will jump over.
No, they're going to be the 3 because Carolina or
that's right.
The Bucs will be the 4.
That's right. So they'll be the 3 seed, which guarantees them 1 home game in the postseason, but not 2 home games in the postseason. So here's what I'll say about Philly: Jalen Carter on the field, potential Super Bowl team. Jalen Carter not on the field, pretty beatable. I think that defense is special. They've had 2 separate.
They're unreal.
2 separate halves this year where the offense has been held to 20 yards or under in a half of a game, and they won both those games.
Wow.
That's stupid. That is defense that's amazing. So I don't know that there's a discernible difference between the top 4 or 5 teams in the NFC right now. Like, I think the Seahawks, the Rams, the Eagles, the Niners are all pretty even. Maybe even throw the Bears in that conversation. I'd say the Rams are at the top of that list, and then it's a jambalaya.
I feel like if the Eagles were in the AFC and you had all this unproven commodities in there, and you had your Broncos, your Patriots, your Jags, your teams that have not been there before, I would be much higher on Philly because they've actually done it. And until they go in there and prove it, I don't believe them. But to the NFC, the Niners have been in the Super Bowl recently. The Rams have been in a Super Bowl recently. A lot of these teams,
the Eagles have lived in the Super Bowl recently.
They have, but I'm saying like there are other teams in their conference that have experience in big playoff games. So the Rams aren't scared to go into Philly. The Niners aren't scared to go into Philly. These are teams that have had playoff experience. Yeah, the Bears and the Seahawks to less of an extent. Hell, if Tampa Bay gets in, they have been in a lot of playoff games recently. So it just feels like Philly is kind of hanging on outside of the fact that they won the Super Bowl last year. Their defense is Super Bowl caliber. Their offense, for some reason, don't know why, is not, and it doesn't really make any sense because they got talent everywhere.
Here's the problem for the NFC. The Rams are probably going to end up being the 6th seed.
Yeah.
That means the Rams are coming into someone's house and probably
right now Philly, and the Rams will probably be favored in that game.
Yeah. Man. Our buddy Trey says top 4 or 5 in the NFC. I'd want to play them again, win or lose. I'm pretty sure that's talking about the Chicago Bears. Not positive though. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. Aztecs basketball tickets on the other side. Keep listening. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760 and ABC brings you New Year's Rockin' Eve with epic performances by Diana Ross, Mariah Carey, Chappell Roan, Post Malone, and many more. Join Ryan Seacrest and Rita Ora for the biggest party of the year. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest live from Times Square New Year's Eve starting at 5 o'clock on ABC. Guess we shouldn't have been talking about the other one all show, huh?
I was about to say, isn't it funny how like they're all competing? Like you got Seacrest, then you got Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen. Then you got, there's like another one. Like they're all competing for the same viewership.
We should do our own.
Dude, the Fletch and Sammy
New Year's
Rockin' Special.
New Year's betting eve.
Parlays? Dude, first off, are you a big New Year's guy?
I'm really not. Honestly, like my perfect New Year's Eve is maybe a nice steak on the barbecue, glass of red wine, in bed by like 10 o'clock watching a movie. My wife is not that way. She wants to go to a party this year. We went to like the Hard Rock San Diego party a couple years ago.
Oh, you went to that?
Look, they have, I think Frankie V is on that, and Frankie V does an excellent job.
That's like a hard ticket to get.
I know. We were in Frankie's little bottle service section, which was great.
Oh, wow.
I'm never going to complain about it, but I'm going to complain a little bit about it. The traffic in downtown was so miserable. It took the fun out of the entire thing.
Because it does feel like, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. It's like New Year's is more of a, you go to a party versus a bar. Like 4th of July, like everything else is more like, let's go to a bar. Right? Am I wrong on that? Like it's usually a New Year's Eve party versus like a bar.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of New Year's Eve's parties at bars.
Okay, so it's kind of like a combo thing.
I went to one in like Huntington Beach randomly one year. Did not have any fun. You know what? The Hard Rock thing was cool while we were inside.
Yeah.
Miserable getting in and out.
My thing with New Year's is maybe this says something about me, but I hate all. Like it's fun reflecting on the year and kind of putting goals together for next year and looking at moments. I purposely stay off Instagram because the sentimental year posts for some reason bother me so much and I can't deal with them. So
this is 2025.
I just improved so much as a person and I just want to share it with everyone.
Best year of my life.
Not to brag or anything, but like I've just become the best version of me.
Your year sucked and we know it. 2025 did go by wildly fast.
Yeah.
Wildly fast. I don't know what it is. I've heard the thing like it's as you get older, it's like a year is a smaller percentage of your life. So it goes by quicker
really?
and it's all relative to you. Like there's science behind it, but it feels like certain years just go by in the blink of an eye. Like 2020 was the fastest year of my life, which is insane because we were all indoors the entire time.
That was like a blur. Like during COVID, like if you told me a 1 month was like, it all is like a same clump of time.
It was like the first 25 years of my life went by in one speed. And then when I hit like 25 years old and COVID started happening and things started happening, it was just like, okay, what surprising, earth shattering news am I going to wake up to today? And we just got hit by fastball after fastball after fastball. And then curveball. It was insane.
Yeah.
And we've been on that run ever since. Now there's aliens that are coming for us. So thank you, world. What do you got for us in 2026? I promise you we're ready for it.
Hey, don't you, real quick before we get to break, don't you love when Seacrest in them, they do their resolutions and they have to keep the hour before it actually goes to midnight, they have to really drag out the kind of segments. And it's like they're getting slowly to their resolutions. And then it's like to just be a better person.
Do I know who Rita Ora is?
She's the girl. Yeah, no, she's on one of the New Year's shows. She's British.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just read the thing. It's Ryan Seacrest and Rita Ora for the biggest party of the year. And I don't think I know who Rita Ora is.
Yeah. I
know who Seacrest is. He's our iHeart brother. We love us some Ryan
We
Seacrest.
love us some C-Town.
Talking American Idol. Come on now. Talking Wheel of Fortune. Come on now.
Ryan Seacrest has about 50,000 jobs. He's got a big radio show.
Ryan Seacrest is rich.
Yeah.
I know one of his former producers. Apparently he's a really good guy too.
Does he work here?
No, she used to work here. She does not anymore.
Oh, dude, we could have got flown out to New York. Dude, we could have been there.
I think he does a show in LA.
No, I know, but he's gonna be there for the ball drop.
For Rockin' Eve, which you can watch on ABC. San Diego Sports 760 and ABC bring you New Year's Rockin' Eve. How about that? Full circle, baby. Well, that was a waste of a segment. Sorry if you were here for that one, but we'll get back to the good stuff coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. But first, pair of tickets for this Saturday night's game. San Diego State, Boise State at Viejas Arena. It's the preamble for Duran Duran, who's going to be there the next night. Huh?
Oh, whoa.
Been so nice. They had to name it twice.
Girls on film.
So Duran, but Saturday night is Aztecs. So 877-767-4760. If you want to go see some San Diego State hoops as they resume Mountain West play, caller number
11.
You're going to the game. How about that? 877-767-4760.
This sport is sponsored by USA Fencing. Monday Night Football, here the game right here on San Diego Sports. 7:60 tonight. Pregame gets you going at 5. Game starts at 5:15. Rams, Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua heading to Atlanta, take on Kirk Cousins and Drake London and the Falcons. Rams are currently 7-point road favorites. The point total set at 48.5. And Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman has re-signed with Notre Dame. He won't be leaving. He was linked to the Giants job opening in the NFL. Ever wanted to try an Olympic and Paralympic sport? Try fencing. It's fast, safe, and easy to start. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John and Jim will take over then. Building a family here. And family doesn't care about borders. Salvador from south of the border.
Salvador.
Saying, hola, vatos. ¿Cómo están? Muy bien, Salvador. ¿Y usted? How about it? Salvador.
Dude, Salvador.
Thank you for being here. Seriously, Salvador. And we'll talk to you in 2026 coming up in just a few days. All right. Enough of the New Year's resolutions talk. Enough of the New Year's Rockin' Eve versus Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper talk. We've done enough of that today.
We got very distracted there.
Sammy brought up a really good point about the AFC. Sammy, why don't you let it rip?
So AFC wildcard picture actually fitting because it just came down. So because the Chargers lost against the Texans, they will be resting starters against the Broncos on Sunday to get ready for the playoffs. But we know the 3 wildcard teams are going to be Houston, Buffalo, and the Chargers in any particular order. Rank those 3 in terms of threats for a Super Bowl to get to the Super Bowl out of the AFC.
Bills number 1. I think that's kind of obvious because they have the most experience on the team. And yes, that defense is awful, but I'm going to trust Josh Allen in pretty much every game going into it. I don't know if they get there, but of those 3 teams, I'm going to say they have the most likely opportunity. Houston has to be number 2 because they're the opposite of the Buffalo Bills, right? That defense for Houston, I'm going to trust more than just about any defense in the NFL right now. D'Amico Ryans has them playing some incredible football. And then the Chargers are going to be number 3. I think that this list could literally be reversed. It could be Chargers 1, Texans 2, Bills 3, if the Chargers had an offensive line. And unfortunately,
if they did,
for them,
I think they would be number 1.
I think they might be the favorites out of the AFC to make it to the Super Bowl if they had an offensive line.
Now, so we're looking at the standings right now. So they're all 11-5. We're assuming the Chargers are going to rest starters, and
Broncos still need to win because they need to hold off the Patriots for the one seed.
So they're probably losing that game. We'll say they drop. Buffalo has Miami, I believe. The Jets. Okay, so they're going to win that game. And then Houston has.
Can we talk about how pitiful the Jets are? Like the Jets are always kind of pitiful, but this is now back-to-back weeks where they're losing by like 20 points.
Awful. That was a horrible performance, but they're trying to get a quarterback.
We can always talk about like how teams in the NFL, it's still NFL caliber people playing on either side.
The Jets, wow.
I'm not sure that's true with the New York Jets. What the hell are they doing?
In terms of, I do feel like depending on who wins this Pittsburgh Ravens game, because I'm pretty high on the Ravens if they get in. I think that they could go on a little bit of a run, but I could literally see every road team in the first round of the AFC wild card winning. I'm not kidding you. Like,
I think you're right.
Like, I mean, let's look at this. Like, so if Buffalo moves up, maybe they're playing Jacksonville. Okay. I'd probably pick Buffalo in that game. I think anyone would. The Chargers against New England, maybe not. Again, the offensive line is an issue.
The Patriots have only played 2 teams or only beaten 2 teams over 500 all year.
Right. And I'll give them credit. Well, I guess the Bucs win was good at the time when they beat them.
Sure. The Bills win was good.
Right. On the road. It's kind of hard because if the Steelers win the game, and now they will have DK Metcalf back and they might get TJ Watt back, so they could be a little bit of a threat. But in terms of ranking them, I would go Buffalo 1 simply because Josh Allen, James Cook can beat anybody on any given Sunday just because they're that good.
Have you seen the conspiracy theory that Josh Allen's hurt a little worse than he let on?
He was talking about it. He said it wasn't a problem post-game.
That's what he said, but immediately after getting up from his post-game press conference, he walked into the x-ray room and he was limping heavily.
That's my and then if you look at Houston, I can't decide between Houston and the Chargers. Like, probably I would go with the Chargers actually too, simply, even though no offensive line, just because I believe Herbert and Harbaugh are extremely well coached, and Herbert's a great quarterback.
And the Chargers defense is as good as it's been in years.
Right. Now they can't stop the run. So I think if you're the Chargers, actually losing this game on Sunday and avoiding potentially the Ravens, because the Ravens are a horrible matchup for the Chargers because they're going to run right down their throats and they can't do anything about it. The Chargers defensive special sauce is the secondary. That's what makes them an elite. They have a really good corner duo, really good safeties. It's tough to really score from behind on that defense. But all three of these teams, like, it just, you look at Denver. Denver barely beats the Chiefs with their third stringers, and they barely win games against the Jets, Washington, the Giants. There were countless games this year they probably should have lost, probably going to have second year regression next year. Then you look at the Jags. I think the Jags deserve credit, but is anyone sitting there really going, the Jags are going to the Super Bowl, and then New England hasn't proven anything. So, like, the bottom of this bracket, it's really going to be matchup play, because that's why if you're the Ravens, this game means so much. And I think we talked about, would Harbaugh and Tomlin be fired? This means a lot for Harbaugh because Mahomes and Burrow are not there. And if he's able to get in this thing, there's a real opportunity based on their path that they could kind of get through the AFC. But if you lose this game and you lose this opportunity, the Bengals and Chiefs are coming back next year. So, like, where do you go from there?
The AFC is so interesting to me this year. I hadn't really thought about it in that way until you said it about road teams going in and dominating the home teams. The Broncos have looked worse as the season's gone on. The Patriots have had the easiest schedule in the entire NFL for the entire season. They've won 2 games over what you would consider good playoff teams. The Jaguars are a fun story this year. Maybe the best of those 3 we just mentioned. The Jags have Liam Cohen, who seems to have finally unlocked something with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is playing big in big moments for potentially the first time in his career on a consistent basis. Like, the Jags may be the best of the 1 seeds in the AFC, which I don't have a ton of faith in the Jags. So, I mean, the more we say it, and it can just sound like wallpaper when you say, oh, if Josh Allen doesn't do it this year, dude, if Josh Allen doesn't do it this year, he's screwed.
Because if you're Josh Allen, and then maybe Lamar if he gets in, but really Josh Allen, because Lamar's
still going to have excuses. The Ravens still aren't right. It's like, that was great to see out of Derrick Henry. What do you have, like 270 yards? It was an insane night from Derrick Henry. But in the postseason, that the Ravens, especially this year with Lamar losing a step, are a true one-trick pony.
And you go to look at yesterday. If they win that game, now they could have won that game, and then the Patriots won next week, and they would win the division. But Josh Allen was the reason he missed the 2-point conversion. He took ownership for it after the game. I give him credit for doing that. That locked them into going on the road. They're going to have to win 3 road playoff games to get to the Super Bowl. So because of them coming up short in some of these big games, losing to New England early on, losing to a Philly team they probably should have beat last night, after considering how, at home to score that few points is pretty crazy. Like, Josh Allen is more pressure than anyone in this postseason. And in the NFC side, like, we're going to power rank tomorrow, and I don't want to give our picks away, but if we're talking about top 5 teams in the NFL,
there's a new one.
They
better be on yours.
Of course, yes, the Niners will be on the list. There's a real thought that the top, at least 4 of the top 5 teams are in the NFC.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Because who of the top teams in the AFC, who are you picking to be in the top 5? There might be 5 out of 5 teams in the NFC at this point. Because I feel weird putting the Broncos there. I feel weird putting the Patriots there.
Isn't it weird how we have like weird groupings? So you have kind of like the Patriots and the Broncos are kind of running alongside each other. They're the upstart teams, the surprise division winners, knocking off the Chiefs and the Bills, and with young quarterbacks who haven't been there before. I know Bo Nix played in 1 game last year against the Bills. So they're kind of like, who has more pressure between those 2?
One playoff game.
One playoff game. Yeah, sorry. 1 playoff game. Then you have Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, and Herbert, who's all in a grouping of, they were kind of the chosen ones, especially Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert, had great debut seasons, then kind of took a step back and are now back in the picture. And then you have your Josh Allen. And then if you add Lamar Jackson in, one of the big 4 quarterbacks in the AFC.
I'd say there's a difference between the Texans and the Chargers, though. Like, the Chargers are winning because of Justin Herbert when they win games.
That's true.
The Texans are winning because of their defense. CJ Stroud's still disappointing to me. Like, he's starting to play better. He's starting to refine that connection with Nico Collins. The run game is kind of non-existent for the Texans right now, but he's starting to look a little bit better, but they're winning because of that defense, which has been dominant all year long.
And if he lets think about this. It's like Josh Allen versus Drake May. Who's going to go farther from their own division? If CJ Stroud lets Trevor Lawrence go farther than him, when CJ Stroud, everyone forgot heading into next year,
He was the
last
next
year,
Mahomes.
he was the next, like the Texans are a next dynasty.
People were putting him in the top 5 already.
I mean, listen.
I think I did.
Well, but to be fair to you,
He was amazing his rookie year.
Great his rookie year with not a lot of help, and they got him help. It's just it is interesting how this postseason, a lot of narratives are going to be rewrote because there's so much this is the most unknown postseason we have seen in years because
I love it.
It's gonna first off, it's gonna be a great postseason to gamble on because there's gonna be a lot of road upsets.
Especially in the AFC. I think I actually put like $50 on CJ Stroud to win MVP his second year. That didn't go so well. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. By the way, congratulations to Aiden, who just won those Aztecs basketball
going
tickets.
to the game.
John and Jim will have some more to give away coming up next hour. We will have another pair to give away tomorrow. It's San Diego Sports 760. Speaking of bets, 7-point spread tonight. Our buddy John on YouTube just said 7-point spread tonight sounds wild. Let's make some picks on the other side. Pick yours, 70470. Start your message with team or jump on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. Drop us a comment. Where is your money going tonight? Let us know. We'll talk about it next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Ben Fletcher, Sammy along with you for a final time here today. But coming up in a little bit, Jim Russell's final time here for
Our guy, dude.
Look, Jim Russell, for as much smack as we've talked about him over the years, he deserved every single bit of it. For as much as people called him the WOT, the worst of all time, he deserved every bit of it. Is a really great guy. I love Jim to death. Congratulations to him and his wife moving to a new place. And I hope nothing but the best for Jim Russell, and can't wait for our future conversations, future chats with Jim. Maybe he becomes a regular on this show, because that's what we seem to do, is just bring people who've been around San Diego radio back on as often as possible. But seriously, do love Jim to death. Wish him nothing but the best, and can't wait to see what's next for him and Aaron.
Yeah, we love Jim, man. It's you said it perfectly. We mess with Jim a lot, but that's because he's
the worst.
And by the way, one thing about Jim Russell that does not get talked about enough, that man in this business, and everyone gets crushed, and that's part of the fun of it, is that you're engaging with fan stuff. Jim is the premier example of inviting criticism and taking it well. In
Half
this
the
business.
people in San Diego think Jim's name is Idiot.
and that's what Jim, we'll be talking to him on the air. We'll definitely have him on during Padres season, but I'll wish his best to him and the family, and we'll be missing him. Jim's the best. We don't get to see his angry walk-in every day that we get to see, but every time that we would leave the studio, he'd be stewing mad about something, and it's gonna change our day a little bit. So shout out to you, Jim Russell.
Sir Will 619 says time to pay farewell to Jimbo today. Yep. Make sure you're listening from 2 to 6. I'm sure there's going to be some tears. I'm sure there's going to be some jumps of joy from John Schaefer on Jim Russell's final day. John, not a happier guy in the world. All right. We need to make some picks for tonight. So Sammy, lay it on a spread, over under. What are our totals?
The over under is 48.5. We already have 858 chiming in, putting the house on the under 48.5 tonight for tonight's game. The Rams are 7-point road favorites in this one.
All right. So you remember how early on in his career, Kirk Cousins would put up these ridiculous numbers in the regular season, but would really struggle in primetime games? Have you noticed he's flipped that narrative recently?
Now he only plays well in primetime games.
Over the last couple seasons, Kirk Cousins in primetime is awesome. And Kirk Cousins the rest of the time kind of sucks. I don't feel confident 858 and putting the house on the under. If I'm being honest, I kind of like the over here in tonight's game. I think we get a high scoring affair. The Falcons, you think about what's at stake for both teams right now. For the Falcons, not a whole lot. However, the Rams have the Falcons' #1 pick. So the Falcons, out of spite, should be wanting to make that the worst pick possible for the Rams. And the Rams are going to be fighting to get that pick as good as possible. So I kind of like the over in this one. I think it's at least a 25-25 game. That would be 50. That'd be over. So I kind of like the over.
Are you over? Are the Falcons covering? Are they possibly winning outright?
Give me over Falcons cover. I'm not going to say win outright.
Okay.
Give me like a 35-28 Rams win. That would be a push. Falcons are going for 2 at some point, Sammy. It's going to be a 35-29 Rams win.
Okay. I am with you on the over. I'm actually disagreeing with this texter. I think the Rams, they're going to pull out some stops tonight. And the Falcons, there's something to be said about Fletch, what you just said about some pride. Like, they have your draft pick. The Rams are one of the best teams in the NFL. They're going to be in the playoffs. The Falcons aren't. And Kirk Cousins auditioning for a job. Like, Kirk Cousins is auditioning for a job next year to at least be in the running during a training camp, maybe alongside a rookie. Kirk Cousins has certainly the last month shown that he's not done in the NFL. I do think the Rams, this is my bet. If I was betting, I would take Atlanta on the first half spread, which is, I believe, at 3.5. I think this game is close for a half. The Rams open it up in the second. I'm going to go 35-20 Rams. I think the Rams cover 7 points and they win by 15. Rams show everyone they're coming off that extra rest because the last game they played was that Thursday nighter against the Seahawks. So they're got a little bit of a rest and still trying to be in this thing. But I think it's close at half.
All right, Sammy, you know how I consider. So wait, what was the final pick for you?
35-20 Rams over 48.5.
35 plus 20. Yeah, that works. That works. The maths on that one. You know how I'm kind of an amateur Spanish speaker? I can kind of understand a lot.
Yes. Salvador's back.
Let me see how I do on Salvador here. He says, ayer mi esposa y yo cumpleaños 46 de matrimonio. I believe That means Salvador is saying he and his wife are celebrating 46 years of marriage. Salvador, 46 years. How do you keep it fresh
brother.
in the bedroom, baby? That's what we all want to know. Am I right or am I right?
Oh,
Salvador, thank you for being here, man. We love you. Congratulations to you and your wife. And we'll close out the show like this. Rich says after the Niners win the Super Bowl, Jim will have to become a part of the Fletch Zone. Jim, you are welcome back when the Niners win the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine that if the Niners won the Super Bowl, how nauseating that would be between Fletch and Russell?
Yeah. And Papani. We're just going to have a Niners fan party in here on San Diego Sports 760. All right, that's it. John and Jim coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.